What's up, party people?
All
How's
right.
it going?
How are you going, Ethan? I think the people want to hear from you.
I've
how
been
you're going.
good.
You know the song that came to mind real quick when he was doing that? It's like, like who that, you know?
Oh, yeah, J. Cole?
Yeah, 'cause who
How
that,
does that go?
Who that?
who that, yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all he says in the
Which
start.
actually segues really nicely into what we're talking about today, Ethan. I mean, let's check in with you real quick. Let's just in the time that you've been going off on your adventure and being Ethan and discovering yourself, what's the
Being
one
me.
thing you took away from your time away?
What do you
on your
get
break.
into?
Get the most out of your break. That's what's real. If you plan to have a break,
Actually have a
actually
break.
have a break.
Facts.
Don't sleep late. Don't it's a
Don't-
reset.
Don't continue working.
Yeah,
too
it's a
much.
reset.
Yeah, right.
Actually rest.
Okay.
And actually, 'cause I feel like this so-called break, I guess, like break from this
It's true.
and the
there's a lot of
podcast
stigma.
was really good. I feel happier, better, improved.
All right, good.
Yeah, and
Had some life experience.
exactly,
Yeah,
you
had a little
know.
this, had a little that.
A
Yeah.
little something,
A little
something,
dap
something,
onto that.
yeah.
No disclosures here. We don't do that here.
I think my life's changed too, so
Your
Yeah,
your lifestyle.
It's
changed.
more like experienced.
yeah.
Like
my
you've
life
just
has
been through a
changed.
little bit.
Yeah, my
right.
life. But yeah,
And you're back.
and I'm back, and we've
back.
got a green screen now.
Yeah.
Where are we
what
guys
do you
at?
want to see, man? What do you want to see?
We are in Tokyo.
Okay.
Wait, no, is that
That's
Wait,
Chinese.
the Chinese.
This guy, man.
Yeah, I think it's the
Bring
Tokyo
Ross,
Drift
bro.
song that you need.
we're
bro.
in the
Yeah.
we're at Southlands Boulevard.
Can you actually do that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
The parking
And
lot or
now
something.
we're at Nick's house. Boom.
I'm gonna need a picture.
Oh, I'm
Nick.
gonna do that now. I'm gonna do that. Ready? Boom. That's what Nick always used to do.
Well, you know
Anyways.
you're still editing this episode, right?
Yeah, I know, that's for
No,
sure.
we know it's me now.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah.
As you can see, the quality went up.
Oh, I don't
Oh.
know. I don't know about that, but you decide. You
Yeah,
the
yeah,
people
yeah.
decide, man. We don't
Okay,
get
Nick.
to decide on that.
What did you edit again?
What?
Oh yeah.
What?
Nothing. Anyways.
Yeah, just fade me out.
Okay. So anyways, today we're gonna be talking about music, and not just music, but what is secular music to Christians and the church, I guess. So
Mm.
all three of us, I guess, we love our hip hop. We love
Yeah,
love to
Fresh
get-
Faves is up, so if you guys want to follow that on Spotify, freshest
Are you
playlist
ready?
ever.
boom up
Boom.
here.
yeah. Okay.
Nick will be editing this today.
yeah, that's right.
Anyways, yeah. So yeah, 'cause I think a lot of people are just like, you shouldn't listen to that stuff. It's got swearing. It's got like kind of gang violence. And,
Yeah.
people.
I guess
a
it's-
lot of rappers talk about that.
Yeah,
stuff,
it's the age-old conversation, like if you grew up in a Christian household or you're in church, and then you get parents that always tell you, or people around you tell you, hey, you shouldn't listen to this, you shouldn't listen to that.
Mm.
Back then, growing up, it's always like, you shouldn't play Pokemon.
Yeah,
Or
my
Harry
mom bleached
Potter.
all my cards, bro.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
All right.
that happened. Shout out, mom,
Oh wow.
if you're watching. She probably is.
Yeah, but I feel like it's kind of that trend now where I feel like people kind of, our parents are easing up a little bit on all that Harry Potter stuff and all that. But then the one that keeps coming back is always like music. Right? I guess 'cause in the most recent years, I guess around the people that we are around
Yeah.
and the area that we're in church and things, listening to rap and hip hop and all these secular music, was always a big conversation of whether we should not. As leaders, like in the youth group, we always told, hey, don't play these songs too much in front of the kids. But at the same time, we know as leaders, these kids listen to these kind of songs, or worse,
Yep.
all the time. So it was a nice conversation where, in church, it's always a nice little battle. So it's actually cool that you brought this topic up.
yeah.
This topic is sponsored by Ethan. But yeah. But why don't you start it off, right? Like,
Ethan.com, yeah.
why were you thinking about this? Or why was this a topic that you really want to talk about?
'Cause I guess for me it's like I've when I got into youth and everything, I didn't expect I would discover hip hop and rap.
Was that because of us?
you and also my sister? Like my sister was kind of into it even in Malaysia. So when I started listening to it, I thought it was pretty dope. I got exposed to like a newer side of music rather than like Justin Bieber, Black Eyed Peas and whatnot. Like yeah, and then I think as I continue growing older, like obviously, like I couldn't play it in church per se. But I think for more like now, I think as a youth leader now, since I'm like youth leading this year, like I've had to like be cautious of like what to play in front of my kids, and like, and then some kids will like it, some kids will want to play this music, but then like I already know my stance on it. But I think for me, it's just like I think it's like at some point these kids are gonna get exposed to it. At some point these kids are gonna like experience it. We can't like protect them like all the time. So I think that's like for me at least, like I think one of these times, like that's like drugs as well. Like some kids don't know what drugs are, and then eventually
So
like
you're
when
just
they're
gonna offer
older-
kids drugs?
No, no, as in, like
Because
they're
gonna
gonna
get
like
exposed to it anyways,
they're
man.
gonna, yeah, they're gonna, I mean,
Let's do some nangs.
yeah, I mean,
Bring it out, man. Bring out the pump.
I mean, like some kids maybe discover rap and not like it. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
kind of like that. Like
Yeah,
some
yeah.
kids are gonna discover drugs and like figure themselves out that dude, it's not as good.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, like let's take a step back a little bit and
Yeah.
away from like our youth kids and stuff. Like, how do you feel about it, just for yourself?
I think just like any other secular thing we enjoy, like I would like also count it as like, you know, like junk food, let's say. That okay, like it's a bit of a stretch, but it's like we enjoy it, but we don't let it consume our lives, essentially. Like we enjoy it, we enjoy listening to it. It's a good beat, it's a good storytelling thing. It's it's a really catchy song, but we don't let
Yeah.
it like affect like our morals and our like perspective as well. So
Yeah.
like when I hear all these rappers talking about, like how they treat women and everything, like yeah, like I hear it and everything. Like I may not like most of it. Obviously the lyrics matter, but I don't let it change my perspective, essentially. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah,
I mean, I
kinda.
get it. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, but I think that's for me at least. That's my view on it, and I
Mm.
also think that like a lot of like these kids will discover it anyway. So, and I discovered it early on to like know and
Yeah.
understand like what is good music like for me and what is not. Like lyrics do matter, 'cause I was listening to like really old like Tyler the Creator like where he was very controversial,
Yeah.
and I kept playing it at home, and then obviously
no.
that was a no go.
Yeah.
But I now realize lyrics do matter, and like, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, what about you?
Do you have any thoughts, Charles?
I mean, I was thinking about secular music and like just calling it secular music. I think
Yeah.
people
Mhm.
that don't go to church are like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I mean, what the heaven? Sorry,
Mm.
what the heaven are you talking about? You know, like, and it's true. It's like, I mean, I don't know if I like calling it secular music. You know,
Mm.
I don't know, but it's just a way that we can categorize.
Yeah,
music,
compare
you
it
know.
to
From a Christian point of
Yeah,
view.
yeah,
yeah,
So
yeah.
like for those people that are talking about what kind of music we're talking about, this is what we're talking about. It's the music that's popular culture,
Yeah,
whatever.
pretty
Not
much.
Christian music, basically.
Mhm.
My thoughts on what was it? My thoughts on just listening to it.
Yeah.
Now, music has been since teen years very important to me. Like it is a way of expression, emotion, all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like back then, now it's hip hop that people are talking about. Oh, don't listen to this Kanye. Don't listen to this. Don't listen to that. I don't know, like what other rappers are there? Lil Pump, all this and that, right? Back then, man, we were listening to rock, man, rock and metal. And we couldn't even listen to that either, you know. Linkin
Yeah.
Park, and we're not supposed to listen to that stuff. There's always gonna be like types of music that people are not gonna be okay with. That's just
Yep.
always a thing. With parents that parent children that are non-religious or religious, it's always gonna be a thing. I hope I just don't deviate from the question. The question is like, what do I think about listening to that as a Christian?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a stupid answer. I would say it. I mean, it's they're the ones swearing, not us. But but like the thing is, it's like what Ethan's put out. It's pretty true. It's like watching Harry Potter, right? It's like as long as we're not practicing these spells
Yeah.
and hexing
pretty
people
much.
and stuff
Yep.
like that, that's okay. Like we don't live out that lifestyle that they're talking about. Like the thing about hip hop is like it's if you've watched Straight Outta Compton, they say that it's like a reflection of their reality, and that's okay. Like that's the way they live their life. That's all they can rap about. They can't talk about going to school and
Yep.
getting a job. That's boring anyways, right? And think of it like watching TV. It's the same thing. You get to live out their experiences. You get to live out their stories, but you don't necessarily have to be them to do that. And like we don't need to be, and they're not telling us to be like them either.
Yeah.
But that's another thing that comes down to your own values and morals and where you stand in that. And if you're strong in that, then I think no matter what you listen to, you're alright.
Yeah.
As long as you know what's good at the end of the day. But I must say though, a bit more Christianese, just a little bit more spiritual here. But I think when it comes to anything that you shouldn't be doing, you will always feel like it's not right. And then like when you listen to certain music, there are artists out there that you listen to and you're like, ooh, this doesn't feel quite right. Then don't be there. Don't listen to it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of aspects like, with youth kids or without them. Like with them, like I would still think that I wouldn't say that I'm comfortable now still playing that music in front of them, because it's like I wouldn't want to stumble them. And if it what's the word? If it like, I guess, disturbs them, then I don't want them to feel uncomfortable, so I just wouldn't play it. But if I know that they're okay with it, then I would play it too. But I wouldn't play such intense stuff like NWA, like Flip the Police. We won't put that on because it's like, well, first of all, we respect the law, but they don't. But that's okay. Like that's them. They're just doing them. But before I talk forever, that's kind of like where
that's good.
I'll
agree.
leave it. And
Yeah.
then we're gonna hear from Nick now.
I
Okay,
agree.
cool.
Big old Nicky over here. Let's hear
That's
it.
weird.
Big old
I've
Nicky
been
over
called
here.
Nick.
Why you say it like that?
Wait, what?
I just like making him feel uncomfortable. And
Yeah,
then
that's
Yeah,
true.
and you succeeded. All right.
Oh,
It's like how Boom White today called me Nico.
that's
Yeah,
weird.
That's weird. He was like, "Bye, Nico," and I was like, "What?" That was really weird. But yeah. Anyways.
Why?
Yeah. If you don't know, here's a photo room. Anyways.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll find that. Yeah. All right.
But yeah, anyways, for me, my thoughts, it's kind of like in the middle. Like, I mean, growing up, I have always just used music as a way of how I reflect how I'm feeling, right? My mood. I've grown up, like, in awkward situations, happy situations, it's always tied with music. Whether it's rap, whether it's Christian, whether it's whatever it may be. And I feel like for being a Christian, I think it just becomes a little bit harder because even though I really like rap music, I still understand that sometimes rap music or music in general can really reflect you as a person and what you're feeling. And same like watching TV and same like just whatever you're doing. When you do something a lot, your mind will unconsciously like learn from these things and you will start reflecting the actions and things that you're listening to.
Yeah.
So where I'm at actually is I'm no problem what you want to listen to rap, listen to whatever. But you have to be conscious on your own self and being like, what I'm listening to, it's like, is it really good for me? Is it really bad? What are they really talking about? And you just gotta be mindful of that and conscious about that. Because and how I battle with it is that honestly, I just make sure that I'm actually still listening to just as much Christian music as I am secular music. Because you still need that, and there is a huge part to play with music, that music can impact your own life.
Yeah.
And I make sure that, because I notice it, like when I listen to rap a lot, I listen to any other thing, my kind of my energy, my vibe, it like changes.
Yep.
I'm a little bit more aggressive. I'm a little bit more just. It is what it is.
Yeah,
Based on
yeah,
based on the songs I choose to listen to.
100%, brother.
Because I'm in a certain mood.
Yeah.
But then when you also listen to Christian, you meditate on that. It's like it changes your
Yeah.
spirit a little bit.
Yeah.
Because like, this is a little bit more Christian, but like we believe that there are spiritual forces around, right? In a sense, and it can be in anything that you do.
Yeah.
Not just when you're in church and out of church or out there,
Yeah.
but it's in everything. And I feel like music is one big one where sometimes if we aren't aware of it, that's how we can fall into the trap of doing these things.
Yeah.
I mean, like, do you remember the era of like Juice WRLD, all these things? And it was
Yeah.
all really, like, the music was good.
Yeah.
We listened to those songs.
Yeah.
But then we all know that the music reflected really like negative stuff,
Yeah.
right? Very
Yeah.
suicidal,
Yeah.
depression, all these things. And then we saw literally in our own youth group, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds of kids just starting being so depressed, so sad,
Yeah.
all of this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's just to the music, but it was the vibe that overall kept carrying it on, and you start going like, yeah, I feel this way, and then you just end up being more and more sad,
Yep.
and then you just keep listening to it, and you go in a spiral. And I truly believe like music had a part to play in that, not the sole reason and not the reason, but it still affects you as a person spiritually,
100%.
but also in how you feel.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think like that's why you just gotta be careful in that balance of it. Like it's not something I would play in church for sure.
Yep.
But it's also not something that I would hide that I listen to either, because I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. You know, if an
Yeah,
uncle and
yeah.
auntie in church ask me, I'll be like, yeah, I
Yeah.
do. You know, you got a problem with it, that's fine. But I know why I'm listening. I like it. You know, I can't keep listening to like, I don't know, like drums and guitar and acoustic guitars all the time. Sometimes just need an 808 or some trap
Yeah,
beats,
yeah,
you know, just
yeah.
to be
Yeah,
banging in my
something
ear.
different,
Yeah.
Or someone just spit a really nice flow or something, or just
Mhm.
a different vibe. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
always gonna feel the same.
Yeah.
And if you're someone that can, then I respect that. But that's just not me. I like
Yeah.
listening to different
Yeah.
sounds because it's different emotions, like what people express. Music's an art. It's a reflection of their reality, and it's how they really feel. And sometimes when they can't bring it out in talking to someone, they write songs about it.
Mm.
And it helps us connect with the different journey and people that like are going through. you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, dude, that just reminded me of like this concert I went to, and this person wrote an original song. I think I shared this about you with you, but as she was singing and performing the song, right,
Yeah.
I had an out of body experience. Okay,
Whoa.
I'm not even kidding.
Whoa.
Year one sitting on the side and she's nodding her head because she was there too. And like there's something about this connection with music, and it's like what I'm not deviating here. I feel like I'm adding on to what you're saying about how you connect with a person's emotions and their spirit or their energy, if you want to call it that as well. And it's like you feel all their emotion in it, and like you know, like you kind of take that on,
Yeah.
kind of like a soul tie almost. Like
Yeah,
you kinda
yeah,
take
yeah.
it on. And if you, it's like what you're saying. Like if you're not cautious of this could really be, that weight could carry on to you. Like all of a sudden you're depressed, like as if you like you.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Joji. Like I love him so much. Like he's
Yeah.
my most favorite artist, but his music consists mainly only of depressing songs, right?
Yeah.
So I have to be very careful that I can't always listen to Joji
Yes. Yep.
because I'm gonna be like, man, I feel like I got hit by a bus.
Yeah.
This song just broke my heart, but I, like, what? You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that didn't happen. So, yeah, I just wanna, I just really vibing what you're saying just then. So I
Yeah.
just thought I'd add that to.
I mean, there's
yeah.
always gonna be like healthy listening. That's how I like to think of it. Like, if you're like really sad, it won't really help. If like maybe it might help a little bit to have like really sad music, but obviously like sitting on it, you know what I mean? Like really relating it, making it like your anthem essentially. I know some people say it's like, oh, the song's my anthem, but like some of the songs that make an anthem essentially are like you like choosing an instruction booklet and being like, yo, this song relates so much and like it really speaks to my soul so much that it's like
imagine having WAP as your anthem.
exactly, and it's like it like puts them like in like this path. So if I'm like really sad over a breakup and everything, I start listening to like what's it like a Shiloh Dynasty, like I don't know,
Yeah.
XXXTentacion, like
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not gonna lie, it slaps. The music
Bangers.
is really good, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like let it like sit. Obviously,
yeah.
that's why we have like music that's like uplifting. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
Christian music's uplifting, and like there are other music that like talk about like other things as well. So I think like for just people in general, there's like healthy listening where you're just like listening to things that like add on to your life and just like I don't know, just like pretty much like uplift you from moments where you shouldn't be listening to like other kinds of music.
Yeah. And I think like for me as well, one thing I would say is that I mean, in the time that we like have been growing up as leaders or just as Christians, and we like a lot of this music, right? Especially 'cause we were dancers back then as well, and a lot of that music, it's very hard to break dance to like a Christian
It is.
praise song
Opera.
or a Christian worship song. You know what I mean? It's hard, man.
Arguably, you could dance to anything.
Yeah,
but
it's true.
yes, it is difficult.
But it is difficult, right? But at the same time, it's like what I really want to say is that for me personally, I feel like people just attack, or like not people. Let's say Christians or aunties and uncles around us, and what we've experienced is that it's easier to attack because there's just swearing in it, right? That's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously you judge based on like what their lifestyle is or the choices that they
Yes.
make. But my argument is like you can't just pick out rap music. Is it? You have to pick out everything. If you're really having an issue with like non-Christian music, you have to attack jazz. You have to attack rock, pop, Justin Bieber, everyone that is not in that circle. Because at the end of the day, right, doesn't mean that if someone swears, the song is worse. Some songs have no swearing, but if you actually read the lyrics, it's either
Yeah.
more sexualized or just even more weird or wrong.
Yeah.
You know,
Not
and that's
wrong.
what I personally feel, because we used to have youth leaders that attack us and say like you shouldn't play this. But I'm like, bro, the songs you listen to is even more sexual than the things we listen to.
Yeah.
Just because it's more socially acceptable. It's a top
Right.
100 hit. It's more like kids play. Everyone plays it. But I feel
Yeah.
like people sing along without actually realizing what's in the lyrics itself.
Yeah.
And then it's just easy to pick up rap because it goes hard. It's
Yeah.
really hype and it's rowdy and it's, they swear a little bit, this and that. But then I'm like, you can look at that, but if you really look at every other song out there, I guarantee you will find songs that have no swearing that sound super innocent, but the meaning and the deeper meaning of it is way worse.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's just my thoughts on it, 'cause yeah, sorry if that sounded really
No.
passionate. I felt like I've been holding it in.
Damn, that hit the
Because
spot,
I'm just
bro.
like, because we enjoy music. I mean, if
Yeah.
you follow Fresh Faves on Spotify, you would see the
Freshest playlist
choices,
ever.
the types of songs that all three of us listen to and that we
Yeah.
vibe with. You know, we listen to all types, jazz. Unfortunately, not classical. My girlfriend's a classical.
Actually, you know what? I'm getting into it. Yeah, I have a playlist for that.
Oh wow! I feel like classical music's
it's
more
different.
intense than
It's
rap.
It's
There
different.
is so much
It's-
going on.
yeah.
I'm like, what am I listening to?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I actually get anxiety when I listen to
Bro, what?
No, full serious, bro. Have you seen, like, I don't know, Notre Dame 8, like, I don't know, orchestra? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Just, they got intense names. And all the
Yeah.
artists' names are, like, intense.
Yeah.
But I love it, though, because my
Yeah.
girlfriend is a classical violinist, and I respect that.
Yeah. Nah, I'm just
But back
like
to music.
it's true, and I also think that like we're not like telling you to stop listening to music, because I think it's like really good to like get in the culture of music and like being relatable. Like when you find someone who loves the same music as you, that's like the best feeling ever, to
Yeah,
be
it's just a
able
vibe,
to
you know?
relate to each other as well. And I think that, yeah, honestly, just enjoy it, but don't let it like control your life. That's pretty much how I think of it as well. And
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it's like who wouldn't like want to listen to music when they're having a bad day, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what Avatar Aang said, you know, balance is everything. You need balance. And for me, I'm not saying like, yeah, only listen to rap. For me, I truly believe that even though if I love this stuff, majority of the music I'm still listening to is still Christian music because that's important, and I need that to be on my mind so that I can be in tune with like God, right?
Yep.
But I'm also not saying that like, yeah, don't listen to Christian music, 'cause
Yeah.
I definitely do. But it's like for me, the most important thing, if you're going to get something out of it, it's just be conscious about what you're listening to and just the balance of it. And don't judge other people for what they listen to as well.
Yep.
You know?
I would also say be cautious of the lyrics. If you really like a song, like truly like a song, you should know the lyrics. You know what I mean? Like you should know, but also just like know. I think it's also beneficial because I personally like when I started growing up a bit more, when I hit the 17, 16 around that, I like started to get into like, oh, what does the song actually mean? And I kind of got to a point where I got really invested in like what the song means, like what this artist is trying to say and everything. But I also discovered some of the music that they were like kind of talking about was like totally different when I thought. Like as a kid, I heard like the song called Whistle. I don't even know it.
Flow
But-
Rider.
Yeah, by Flow Rider,
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's
that was-
literally about
yeah.
like oral, you know, sex and everything. And I was like,
What we think says that's what.
yeah, man, hey, gotta make it normal. But yeah, like I didn't know that, and like
Facts.
my dad told me that, and
Facts.
I was like, I didn't know that because they're just implying something, and like anyone wouldn't know it until you actually read the fine line.
That's
and
like
read
literally
read
what
the
Nick
lyrics.
was saying.
Yeah,
right?
like
Yeah.
the example of that, right? They play that in every single high school river cruise for a certain amount of time.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
dude.
Yeah.
And everyone was singing on it. It was so
Apple
innocent. It
bottom
sounded.
jeans,
yeah, even that.
boots with the
Do you know
yeah.
Watermelon Sugar as well?
What?
That's actually about oral
Wait,
sex
say
as
that
well.
again?
Maroon
Watermelon
5?
Sugar by Harry Styles.
Harry
Oh wait,
Styles,
Harry
right?
Styles. Oh,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
know that guy a little bit.
Yeah,
Dodge.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
So like
No, that's just Sugar.
Oh,
Maroon 5, yeah. Wait. Yeah,
is
it
it
is.
Sugar as well?
I think it's Sugar. It's just Sugar. Maroon
So what
5?
else?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
right.
Sugar. It's
If
sweet.
you didn't know that, you know that now.
If
But
you
like,
know, you know.
like if you just found that out, you'd be kind of surprised and kind of like maybe taken aback. I don't know, but it's like stuff like that where you just don't actually know what you're listening to because the artist could be like implying something. And it's not like they're hiding it from us. It's just
Yeah.
more like that's just what they're expressing. you
It's
know what I mean?
catchy, you know?
Yeah, you know, but
Yeah.
we don't know that. But now you know.
Yeah.
Now you know.
But yeah, but that's just why I feel like it's so important for you just to be aware of it and to
Mm.
control, like, yeah, just to do it. But also at the same time, like, this is another thing, right? Like, I truly believe that, like, the church and stuff, we're all here for people. all types of people.
Yep.
And if you already shut down this sector, there's a amount of people that you will never be able to reach out to just because you judge based on this. And this is a way for us, or that I've personally used to be able to connect with other people, you know, and vibe, because us Christians, we're not any different. We're just people too.
Yeah.
And sometimes like this is how we just connect with other people as well.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, definitely I would not be playing some of the music I listen to at
Yeah.
a church. But would you watch half the movies you watch or series that you watch in church too?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Always
wait,
a place,
yes or
always
no?
a time.
No. Yeah.
No, but I know
yeah,
what you
oh,
mean.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree.
I would
Yes,
not be
I
playing Game
agree.
of Thrones on church.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my.
There's a
You
place
know.
and time for everything, and I
Yeah,
think
facts.
like, yeah, I just want to know your thoughts on like when Kanye West, rapper, artist, whatever you want to call him, hit his Christian phase where he released Jesus is King and everything, and like, what do you think about artists like, like trying to express Christianity in their music, but for him in particular, he released a lot of other, really, I guess you could say, non-Christian stuff. You know what I mean? Like Gold Digger or whatever. Like, for example, you know what I mean? Like, what do you like kind of support, these artists coming into Christianity? 'Cause Justin Bieber is Christian, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Mm.
Like, he is, right?
Yeah. I
And
mean, he
like,
says he is.
yeah, so any thoughts, I
Uh,
guess? Guess it's kind of a broad question, but like,
Yeah, I mean, look, it's their own journey. I mean, they can say whatever they want, like they believe in God. A lot of rappers say that. A lot of people say that in general.
yeah.
People in
Dude,
general,
there's people in church that say they believe in God, but I mean, we don't judge people's walks with God, right?
Mm.
Yep.
But like, I'm just saying that there are people in the church that could be possibly less godly than the people that are rapping or doing these things. Look,
Yep.
I mean, it looks like Kanye. Like, look, it looks like he's trying to turn a new leaf and be more Christian, like, and like that's okay. Like, that's up to him, really. Like, I mean, sure, like he's still human.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that I'm making Christian music now. It doesn't mean I don't sin anymore. You
Yep.
know? Yeah, he's got that stuff with
Mm.
Pete Davidson and all that drama, right? But
Yep.
at the end of the day, I don't put the music on the person. I mean, yeah, sure, it's an expression of like who you are, but I mean, he's trying to be someone else, and that's
Mm.
okay. And same with Justin Bieber. Like, look, people have their own convictions about swearing. We talked about swearing before, swearing in music. There are Christians that are swear but are really good Christians. You know what I mean? Like, that's their own thing.
Yep.
That's between them and God.
Yeah,
Again, it's like Nick said, we don't judge people for these things. We shouldn't be doing that because we don't have the right to. But yeah, I guess when it comes to that, I don't really have an opinion on that because I feel, if that's
You
what
just
I
look at
just
him,
said,
yeah.
if you consider that,
you
an
look at him
opinion,
as
then
just a
that's
normal
what-
Christian.
Yeah,
Just
I
like
just
a
say
normal person walking.
exactly. Like,
Yep.
like you're not any better, you're not any less, or
Yep.
whatever. You're not any, whatever.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on that.
Yeah. Well, I guess for mine it's yeah.
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 It's the same with Jar. Almost like I feel like I'm not in a place where I can really say anything 'cause I don't
Mm.
really know them.
Yeah.
If anything, they could just be really trying, but the environment they're in just makes it really hard.
Oh,
And
it
just
is.
the lifestyle, right? How you grew up. These are things that are very hard to change sometimes. And I guess you can really see sometimes based on what we can see, which is social media,
Yep.
that he is trying. And all of this is his reflection of his relationship with God or his journey. He may not be there. He may not be perfect, but none of us are.
Yeah.
And we all have our struggles. It's just that he has a platform, or all these famous guys have a platform that where people can watch. you know?
Yes. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if any of us
yeah.
were there, imagine how many things in our closets will come out because we are there.
Facts.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just easier for us to, I guess, look at them and pick out what's wrong because they have a platform to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and that's why I feel like for us, if we were there, or let's say if I was there, I'll probably have a million things that people can pick out or even
Same,
say.
bro. Same.
You know?
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, how is this guy a youth leader? How is this
Right.
guy doing
Mm.
this?
yeah.
Yep.
Because it's so easy to, but I feel
Mhm.
like honestly everyone's journey is the same. And if
Yeah.
let's say they ever came to me, okay, and they would never, but if they did, I would still be like, yo, maybe you're struggling, but let's walk together and journey
Yeah.
together, because at the end of the day, yeah, from my last season and just learning, like, we all constantly have things to move forward from and grow. And like, yeah, he may release like like all of his old tracks, but old Kanye actually kind of popped. I really love old Kanye, man. It was good.
I mean, it's Well, yeah, it was a different Kanye.
Yeah.
Different music comes out of different Kanye. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
phase of your life, you're gonna produce different things.
Yeah.
Because you look at life differently.
And that's what we always say, right? We don't judge someone from their past because
Yeah.
you want to believe that
Exactly.
people can change and move forward.
Yeah, look. Okay,
And-
look at Tyler the Creator. Sorry, to cut you
Yeah,
off,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm getting amped on this now. But look at Tyler the
It's Jar's
Creator.
turn.
When we looked at him at Yonkers and stuff, we're like, ooh, this guy.
Or
he's
like
bad.
Goblin.
Yep.
Wolfgang, all that, right?
Yeah.
It was bad, but now look at where he is, bro. Like his music's different, his fashion's different,
Yep.
everything about him is different. You know?
He has a girlfriend
Yeah.
now.
What?
Really?
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
I
There
know,
you go,
crazy.
guys. If you haven't heard it yet, you've heard it here now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, she dresses like him as well. It's cool.
That's
Fashionable couple.
But yeah, I mean, I don't want to get off topic, but yeah,
No, that's true.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's okay to have a favorite artist, have like what you like and everything about
Yeah.
them. But yeah, I guess really for me, it all comes down to like how much like I listen to it, does it affect my life, and read lyrics as well and everything. And yeah, I think that also applies to just worship music as well. Like, make sure I guess you yourself are questioning. It's okay to question worship music. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of like worship music, it's just like everyone. I mean, as a kid, I didn't really question it, but now as I'm growing up, like obviously I question it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I think a rule of thumb for me, I guess, is like, have I experienced like the presence of the Lord through this song? And if I have, I think I go by that.
Yeah.
But I also go with, how was the song made? How was like what lyrics and everything, like what is it? And like doing your own research to really know if that's really a God-centered song.
Yeah.
'Cause I do know a few that's like kind of off,
Yeah.
not really, yeah.
I think for me, like, sometimes I feel that when it comes to Christian stuff or like Christian songs, we can really go overboard with like dissecting it a lot.
Yep.
Besides just taking for what it is. And I
Mm.
guess for me on how I look at a song and how I go, it's one, can I really experience God's presence through this,
Yep.
and can I really vibe with the words, right?
Mm.
But the biggest thing for me is just that if I look at a song, can I see it reflecting what the Bible says? Because the Bible
Yep.
is just what we believe to be the truth, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And if the song goes against the Bible, then you know it's something wrong.
Yeah.
But if
for
it's
sure.
supporting whatever scripture says and it's aligned with it,
Yep.
then yeah, cool.
Yeah. No, for
Sometimes,
sure.
wordings might need to change. It's a little bit sus a little bit.
Yep.
But
He touched me.
yeah, that was a little bit. That one I would say personally for
I
me.
mean, I
I'm
know
very
me personally, no,
uncomfortable.
that's never happened to me. I'm just
Oh,
it's a song
no,
lyric.
it's a song. It's
Yeah.
a
song
song.
lyric, guys. So
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm good.
But that was like that's an example of a song that they might have meant it really well.
Yeah.
But
But when it came out, it's like, wow, that's a little bit
But
sus.
look. With that in mind, right? I mean, them making that song, maybe it was like innocence, basically. You know, like is it really our fault that we see it that way? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whose fault is it really?
Yep.
Yeah.
But then again, be tasteful about it.
Yeah.
Or
But,
just yeah.
You.
But yeah, no, that was pretty much all I had to say
Yeah, I just wanted
without
to-
going in circles.
Yeah, I'll add on that. I agree with what you're saying, Nick, but I also agree with Ethan that it's okay to question things. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
like
yeah,
100%
yeah.
okay. I think if you're not questioning things, then you're just following things blindly. and,
Yeah,
like
oh,
that's
for
the
sure.
worst way to go. If you're in any religion or anything, you should be asking questions because you should know why you're there and what you're doing. You know, like if someone tells you to put your hands up, you gotta ask why I'm doing this. Like
Yep.
the next thing you know, they're not even praying in tongues anymore.
There
They're
are
hissing,
reasons.
brother.
Yeah.
They're hissing.
Yeah, there are reasons
You
for
put your
things.
hands down after that, man. If you're not
Yeah.
questioning these things, bro, you gotta watch out. But
Yeah.
that's another thing.
For sure. No, I
Um,
totally agree.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely relates to, like, the actions we do is like, why are we putting our hands up? There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
We're showing our appreciation. We're putting our hands up for Jesus. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Okay, you know what? Okay. I mean, how are we feeling about the whole secular music, Christian music comparison now? We feel like we can move on from there?
I think so.
Because I think I want to really move into the Christian scene now.
Okay.
The Christians.
Because, I mean, most of our audience is Christians, but if you guys are, like, not Christian, you can tune out. But if you're interested, stay tuned. Okay, but my question is this. I got two questions. One of which is what we just mentioned just then. When
Okay.
worship leaders, okay? I mean, we're not worship leaders here, so it's
Yep,
kind of
yep, yep.
hard for us to
It is
answer.
hard.
But I want to know your thoughts, okay?
That's the audience.
Because, yeah, my conflict with this is like I know worship leaders, their intent is to lead you into worship, right? We're
Mhm.
meant to go to war, and
Yep.
they're like leading the charge. I understand that.
Yep.
But like when they tell you to raise your hands, and I know, like they should raise their hands. Because I was thinking about this on Sunday. I was like, but it's like should I I still have a choice to raise my hands. Like
Yeah,
sometimes
you
I
do.
think, why should I? You know, like I don't want to raise my hands because you told me to.
Yeah.
Now look, this is just my own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I want to raise my hands when I feel like I'm ready and I'm actually feeling the presence of God. Like, I mean, yes, presence of God is there, and
Yeah.
for everyone they feel different.
Yeah.
But I don't want to put my hands up because someone told me to.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
It's
And
that little conflict
It is
before
a
you do it.
conflict,
I
you
see
know?
it. Okay.
that's my conflict, and like I don't know as a worship leader, it's like if they use that as a metric to say, well, I guess measure how successful their worship set was. Oh, how many hands were up? Oh, lots of hands, you know? And like I have a lot of thoughts with that recently. Like, you
Okay.
know, as a leadership team, we're always taught to worship in front of the kids. So there's an expectation that we raise
Yeah.
our hands.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And I think that's fine.
yeah,
In my
right.
opinion, that's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I just think
I
that
also think them doing that is also encouraging, people who may feel like I want to put up my hands,
yeah,
but I'm kind of scared to.
absolutely,
And I
bro.
think that's fine.
I've been there, done
Yeah.
that. But I ain't gonna lie that initially it was a lot of because I know that that's the intention to help someone else to
Yeah.
feel that confidence,
Yeah.
right? But I myself am not feeling that.
Yeah. And
Is
that's
that
fine.
correct?
I think
Is
I
that
think that's
wrong?
okay.
Right.
I personally think that's okay because God gave you a choice. You can choose whether to. Yeah, but I think with that, they're just opening a door for everyone. They're opening a door to be like, hey, like, let's take things another. Like, you may not be feeling this worship today, but
Yeah.
let's put our hands up, and maybe that's gonna get you to really press into worship. Let's just like really just like press into what He has to say. Maybe that physical act of doing it, of changing, your posture of just standing there and just, waiting for worship to be finished, but instead putting your hands up and you really engaging
Mhm.
physically in your posture
Yeah.
to worship. That's like a way, like a door for some people. 'Cause
Mm.
I know myself. I like at the start I used to just stand there like in year 7 and everything. I used to fall asleep low key.
Yeah, right.
But when I start to like close my eyes, like just raising it like this, I'm very comfortable with this now. Like I used to be not comfortable with just like raising it like
yeah, the hot
near,
hand.
yeah, just like the hot
Yeah.
hand. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that helps me. That helps me just be like
Engage.
to engage.
Yeah.
And then when I really want it, it's really intense, you know what I'm saying? Just boom, it's
Yeah,
up there.
boom.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And then I wait, like for kneeling as well, when they encourage to kneel, I'm just like, I'm not really feeling it. Like I
Mm.
wait till like there's a thought that's like, I want you to kneel, Ethan, and I'm there.
Yeah,
You know what
okay.
I mean? Yeah. So I
Right.
think it's okay. Like to answer your question, it's okay if you don't want to put up your hands. I think the worship leader is just, in my opinion, obviously I'm not a worship leader. In my opinion, it's just encouraging
Yeah,
people
for sure.
to get into worship, get
yeah.
into praise.
I
you
mean,
know what I'm saying?
I totally understand. that,
Yeah. But I know what you mean. I'm
But
just
I'm
like,
pretty stubborn on that sometimes.
I'm just like-
I don't want to do it.
I don't. Yeah. No.
I don't feel like it. Yeah. but
Yeah.
yeah. What about you, Nick?
Nick's
My
just at the
girlfriend's
back.
a worship leader, and I'm
yeah,
like,
we'll get
"Bruh,
you on sometime. I would like to.
Well,
interview
okay,
you
well,
on that, but
I'm with the people right now, so yeah, not okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Nah,
Yeah,
I mean,
dude.
I don't like it when someone tells me what to do. You know what I mean? But nah,
That's that hip hop talking,
Yeah.
bro. Stop listening to
I
that.
live my own life. Okay, now, my thoughts on it is that I get it. I think
Mm.
at the same time, like sometimes you just don't want to, and then when you get people that debrief after and they're like, oh, we don't gauge how intense the worship is by how the hands are up and stuff.
Mm.
But then naturally you kind of see it that people actually do, even though it's not meant to be. But I think when you look back to it, we gotta ask ourselves like, okay, why do we raise our hands?
Mm.
And from my understanding, it's because when you raise your hands, it's a sign of surrender
Yeah.
and
Yep.
kind of vulnerability to God.
Mm.
Yawan, can you nod your head if it's right? Yeah, cool. And that's a sign of you being vulnerable to God.
Yep.
And I feel like that's a personal decision that you have to make when you're in worship. But then when I take a step back and I ask myself, okay, taking that out of the way, taking the fact that the worship leader asked me and do this, when I'm worshiping, do I feel like I am actually in a place where I'm completely comfortable in doing whatever I want to? Because I
Mm.
feel that, like, from what Ethan was saying, I agree with that sometimes the worship leader should be encouraging you to do that because some people need that push.
Yep.
But we shouldn't take it as like an instruction to do it.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
should look at it from
That's
the
good.
perspective of like, hey, it's an encouragement, because some people just need that. Some people need
Yeah.
that extra, like, we should do it. But
Yep.
for some of us, where we worship differently, right? We're not as, oh yeah, swinging hands
Yeah.
up,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
doing
yeah.
all this stuff. We're more like just us in the way that
Yeah.
we are because we're
Yeah.
comfortable in that space. But I should also just mention that, like, sometimes we need to get past that to actually learn to express ourselves fully
Yep.
in giving God like full surrender. Because I feel that sometimes for me, my battle is I don't do this because I'm very conscious about just how I look or what people view, and I'm not actually fully engaged. And I feel that if I'm at home and I'm worshiping and I want to be fully vulnerable, I have to get myself to that position.
Yep.
Because for me, it's like an internal battle with, am I still in a shell of me standing here and doing this or this because I'm comfortable with this, but I'm not fully letting myself go to embrace God. And the spiritual kind of environment. Because I feel like when now, like, I'm more confident in singing and worship, even though my voice sucks, being comfortable with that, raising my hands up. For me, it was a big jump that I pushed myself to get there, because I guess I was kind of like in the same spot where I'm just like, I'd rather stand like this. But when I learned to get uncomfortable in worship and to just realize like, damn, it's actually me and God, it actually changed my worship experience. Because I was kind of learning to let go and let God. But that's just my take on it. I agree though with what you said. Like, yeah, we shouldn't feel pressure to. I personally don't feel that worshipers should be telling us to. I feel like they should be encouraging us more so. But also I feel that like there are moments though, like, you know, sometimes they do their little spiel, they say something, they verse, and then they invite us to. Then I still feel like it's okay. But it's just more the telling. Like, yeah, you should put your hands on. No, I was like, well,
yeah.
Then that makes me want to go, no.
I know. Like
know?
some leaders are like, oh, if you're comfortable, put your hands up and everything, which is good. And I also just want to add that everyone worships different.
Yeah.
I know people that jump in like slow praise. I know people that like just stand still. I know people that, you know, like they need a good amount of space to like, you know, move around because they can't stand still in the presence of God. And I totally agree. Like, I think the reason why we jump in praise is because like there's just so much energy. There's so much like joy for God that we gotta move. You know what I mean? We gotta do something. And I'm not saying like, oh, like if you're not putting your hands up, you're not praising, because we all know that's not true. Because you praise your own way, and I think however you praise, you're good to go. If you don't want to put your hands up and you're still praising God, I think the worship leader will be totally fine with that. Probably would be surprised if a worship leader was like, no, that's not it. But
yeah, because I agree. I think like for me, it's the same with listening music, like our original topic. Like, you should be comfortable worshiping whatever way you want, right? But I feel like so often from like us being leaders or the heads of ministries and things, we get so caught up in seeing like what a good worship, like someone worshiping like well must look a certain way. Like, we stereotype it, so we assume vocally loud, they're just going all out, hands up, you know, they're just on their knees, all these things. When we see that, we immediately go like, wow, that guy is really into it. Then when we look at some guy just standing there, maybe not singing, eyes closed, but just very still, we take that as like, oh man, this guy's not really engaging. But realistically, we actually can't really tell or say that he's not worshiping as hard as this person that's laying on the floor crying and doing all these things, right? Like, everybody worships different, everybody expresses themselves different, and we should be just focused on us and how we can do it. And as a team, I guess when you're a leader, it's a little bit different, because you do want to make sure everyone is engaged. And if they're not, then you want to be aware of that as well. But I guess in the sense of just worship, like expressing yourselves, like sometimes the energy, like what Ethan was saying, the praise song is so high, you just got to mosh, you know? And for me, that's the exact same as someone putting in a hands up. It's just how you express that passion for the song and for God in that particular moment. And I think what changes in terms for me is that when the jumping and moshing and stuff goes bad, or any of these things go bad, is when the focus of worship is not God. When it's just to, you know, elbow someone and shove someone for the sake of doing it.
Becomes a
when
rage.
when the focus is off God, then that's when I'm like, you, no matter what it is, you raise your hands because you're like, hey, want to wave to someone, or you want to show off, right? That's also wrong. But it's just the same thing where when you look at moshing, it could be like easier to pick out as rowdy and bad, rather than like someone putting a hand up for their own reason, because you can't see that as much. But when it's rowdy, you can see it more. But for me, my stance is like, this is personally for me, and you can disagree if you like, but moshing or whatever this stuff is, or however you worship, is how you express God. As long as God is the focus on that, and you are truly expressing your love for God or whatever it is, then it's cool. You do you know what I mean? But yeah, but also being conscious, I guess, for moshing, not to elbow year 7 kid
Yeah.
or kick them on the ground.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
Yeah, wow, nice.
Did you have a second question?
That
or
was
no?
it. Nick just answered
Just
it.
moshing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. That's
okay.
what I thought
Because
as
it
well.
was a topic that
He said
got brought
jumping,
up
so-
recently.
Yeah.
Just in youth groups in general, it's like, should we not? What's the go?
Yeah, I used to be really against it. Like, as in, like, against where should be is like, cause when we were in youth, I think it was one of your last camps at Kinetic.
Well, when we did that massive
Whoa,
mosh.
whoa, whoa, wildfire?
We don't name. Youth
Oh,
groups
true.
here.
Oh, okay, my bad. Hey, bleep that out, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the point. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, like
Yeah.
When
at,
we used to mosh.
yeah,
We used
okay.
to do.
Yeah, we still do.
Oh, as in like when you
Well,
were
back
at
then when we were all in the same youth group.
the same youth group,
Yeah.
there was like, yeah, I think it was just me and my mates that were like, they kind of started it and just like did it, and I think that it was the last night where it got really huge, like the whole youth got really
Wait, hold
into
up.
it.
Whoa, rewind. You started it? What?
No, I seen when he started the moshing at that session.
Yeah, at that
Because
camp,
we
yeah.
know that he
I
wasn't
didn't
even born when we
I-
started.
I
moshing.
did not start. I did not
None of us.
invent it.
No, none of us
I
started
did not
moshing.
invent it. No.
It was just a thing we
Yeah.
picked up.
But yeah, so and then yeah, it was great. I felt like it was really good, and I like unity was there. Everyone was into it. Girls were into it. Like when girls are into it, it's a different vibe because everyone's just a bit more aware and everything.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of got up to church and everything. And, some church people didn't really like it, and then now I've come to the point where I'm just like, oh, like as a youth leader now, I kind of see where they're coming from, and I totally agree. Where it's like, if God is not the center of it, then it shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
But in saying that, I also think that, there shouldn't be any pushing. Fair. There shouldn't be any shoving. Fair. 'Cause I don't see God in the pushing.
I mean, the pushing, shoving is just
Yeah,
it's just
it's-
natural. As
It's a
long as
natural
it's not
thing.
like
literally
If
a
you're, let's say
pushing,
if you're
yeah.
standing there and we're moshing and just go boom.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's
No.
not
If you
enough.
bump into each other, fair.
Yeah, it is
But
what it is.
I think there was a point where a lot of the youth kids were just like, oh yeah, like only these essays and everything going to the mosh and everything, and they're only thinking about themselves. They're already here for the mosh and everything. And I think how the mosh should be used now, how the at the front where all these boys and all these girls are kind of like jumping in unison together, it's inviting for these essay kids, and like these kids that like, well, we call essays, but like these kids that have like, don't really know. That's the closest thing that they can relate to in church, I would say. And I think that's what I found as well, where a lot of these kids, like, yeah, they were, like we say, they come for the wrong reason, they stay for the right ones. And I think, that's why we have, like, 2 praise songs and 3 worship songs, you know what I mean? And we have, like, 1 praise song and, like, 3 worship songs. Pretty much just, like, yeah, we enjoy that time, but then there's this other time where we're very intimate with God. So that's my opinion about moshing, really. It's like, yeah, it's a good thing to have, but I think, once again, it goes back to Nick's.
Yeah, like your focal point.
Yeah.
And I guess like for us, it's how you nurture that and how you teach that
Yeah.
as leaders or just as people in church.
Yeah,
It's
you
like the balance is
Yeah.
everything.
You can't have you can't just tell a bunch of kids, stop shoving each other and everything. You need kids in there who would listen to you and would set that culture. 'Cause I think for me, when I guess a bunch of us boys were kind of told like, hey, can you ask them to stop shoving and everything, we had to like tell them, hey guys, like chill, like these year 7s like dying. You know what I mean? Like you gotta.
Hey, they
stop
make their
that
own choices.
somehow.
you
Yeah,
know?
I know.
Okay, no, no,
Well,
jokes,
that
jokes,
brings
jokes.
me to another point as well. It's like, don't go into it if like you don't want to get hurt or like you don't want to like.
Yeah.
It's like going into like a crowd of people that's jumping and being like, oh, I don't want to touch any one of them. You know what I mean? It's like, at some point, we're not gonna be shoving and everything. Like it's gonna be less violent, but it's still like we can't control like everyone. You know what I mean? Like we got some big boys in there just like jumping. Yeah, and like and chants and everything I think are good at some level. Chants I think at some level are good and everything. But yeah, I think moshing's great. It creates unity, creates unity
I mean,
in the youth and everything.
like one final thing that I'll say is that like anything that you use can be used either for good or bad.
Amen.
You
True
just
that.
have to find that balance in knowing why you're doing it and how you can use it.
Yep.
Because when you use something out of its purpose, that's when things go wrong and that's when the wrong things happen.
Wow.
So yeah. I actually preach about that.
The
but yeah.
arrow is just coming over your head at this point.
I know, they call
you're
me
just
Yang.
ang at this point with the
I
balance.
do really
bro.
want. I was thinking about rewatching a series again recently,
Yeah,
but
facts though.
it puts me in a certain vibe. I don't know why, but it's just it's just cool.
Yeah.
Anyways,
That's a good way to end.
I think it
that's
is.
good, that's
Should we
good.
like end on a nice note? Like
maybe
I
the
don't know,
background should be an avatar. you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
with
yeah.
a
Oi,
city
the
of like
the end song should be like the
we'll get
the app-
copyrighted, wouldn't we?
Don't matter, bro.
Okay.
Don't matter. You know, don't matter.
Change the pitch.
Yeah. Slowed
Sure.
reverb right
Yeah.
there. Yeah. But should we like I don't know, name a favorite worship song and a favorite song?
I
that
thought
we-
you were actually gonna say should we?
I don't
pray?
know, like
should we
a
close
song
in
that
prayer?
we've been bumping
I know, it's like-
recently. That's like kind of a vibe. I
Okay,
don't
you know what? No, that's not Christian. Why don't you just tell someone, like, I mean, we'll end the video and just saying, what's a song that you're really vibing with right now? That's
okay.
it, simple.
But surely, okay, Nick, give me a song that you've been vibing with recently.
Okay, don't put me on the spot like
Okay,
that.
Jai, you got one?
Yeah.
Well,
most recent
well,
song.
in terms of Christian song.
Oh,
Any
either
song, bro,
or.
any song.
You can say two if you want.
Yeah, true.
Well, I mean, okay, Christian song, Fresh Wind's good.
Oh, yeah,
Ooh,
that
yep,
kind of
yep,
vibe,
yep.
Yeah. With my Christian songs, I'm a kind of guy that just listens to one or two of the
Yeah.
same one all the time.
But
Mm.
it's because that song connects you the most.
Yeah.
All right,
And then secular song would be Scenario by A Tribe Called Quest.
oh,
Here we
Mm.
go, yo.
Go,
yep.
go back. Okay.
So what's
Yeah.
yeah, you know how it is.
Okay. So that's recently or just in general?
Oh, I mean, I've always liked that song, but
Oh,
recently
okay.
I've been bopping that
Oh,
hard.
okay,
man.
okay.
Yeah. No, I respect that.
Okay.
For me, I guess the song that I've actually been is I went back a little bit as well to an older-ish song, but not really old. Casio by
Ooh, by Jungle?
Yo, bro.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Recently, like after work or like when you're driving to work,
It's a
just been like,
vibe.
It's like very
Yeah.
easy to listen.
It's
to.
smooth.
What genre is that? Is that
It's
indie?
like-
It's
Pop?
alternate indie, right?
Alternate. I don't even know, but it's a
I-
vibe.
yeah, I
It's
don't
really
You
hard
know,
to
like
genre things, bro.
Jungle, like
I love
Thundercat, like all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But
hey,
yeah,
that's on the playlist actually.
yeah,
so
yeah. There you go.
Fresh
Sh-
faves.
fresh
freshest
fave.
playlist
Wait,
on the
fresh
planet.
face.
Fresh
Faves.
faves.
Oh right, yeah.
Any
Christian song at the moment, honestly, I went back to this one puts me in a little bit mood, but I felt like it. Still/Peace.
Oh yeah, that's
That
good.
song, yeah, hits hard, but
Sing it.
yeah.
Sweat.
Yeah. All right, yeah.
Okay, cool. Do you know what's really underrated? This song, "This Is Living" acoustic version.
Oh, I know that.
Bro,
Yeah, yeah.
that hits. You know, you be jumping to it, and then like when it acoustic hits, you just like, damn.
Wow.
No, yeah. Anyways, before I
Flexibility.
cut you, I mean, I am going to cut you off now.
you.
You are.
I
You,
did.
you are.
But honestly, another odd one I've been listening to randomly, like all of a sudden, it's like Phenomena, but acoustic.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, they
Oh,
got
yeah,
this
yeah.
remix of
Yeah.
that album
They
actually.
remixed a lot of the.
Yeah, they
there's
remixed a lot of the
And
songs.
it's like-
By the way,
It's
yeah.
interesting.
Anyways, yeah. And then
Yeah.
your second song?
Oh, my second one. Damn, that's hard. I've been like right now. I've been loving the song called "Rewind" by G-Eazy and Anthony Russo.
Oh, Anthony Russo's a vibe, man.
Yeah, I heard
Ghost
it. I
Stories,
heard it in
bro.
the gym, and I was like, "It's pretty good," and I've been bumping that.
Mm.
But if you want another one, Nicotiana by
Oh, yeah.
Nilo Blues.
Yeah.
Jared knows I've been bumping that song for so long.
Yeah, it's on the playlist too. no, for real.
It's
for
literally
real,
the one
yeah.
of the
Yeah.
first songs I added. But
Yeah.
yeah.
no,
And
cool.
if you read up on that song, bro, it's an interesting story.
But anyways, thank you everybody. It is a longer episode than usual.
oh, this is
recently.
long, yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know what? We got the brother back. We don't know when he's coming back again,
I'm always
so we
back.
might as well just make this long and fun. But it has been really, great conversation. It has been fun having you back, Ethan.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay fresh.
Yeah, stay fresh.
Yeah,
all.
stay fresh. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, much
Remember, as always, I mean, we keep saying it, never do it, but drop a like if you like this episode. Drop a comment if you want to say something, or if you have your thoughts about the topics you talk about,
Yeah.
or just DM us, man.
I mean, we appreciate all those people approaching us in person, saying all these nice things to us.
But I want to
Facts.
remember it so you can write it down.
Yeah, but
In a
just
DM
know
and stuff.
that yeah, we appreciate you, and we're trying to build a community here. So a lot of talking would be good.
we should shout out the people who've like commented us, like the patrons.
Yeah, right.
All right. Shout out one person.
Shout out Taylor Shin. I know she commented on our last one.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, see? I see you.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah.
Shout out John Quay. Always saying the same comment every video. Good stuff.
Well, he's not gonna say it now.
Good stuff, guys.
Well, he'll say great stuff now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he has to change it up.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, but
right.
everyone else, we appreciate it. Like,
Yeah.
seriously.
Maybe if you watch the next episode, you might get
You might
another
hear
shout
it.
out.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
All right, maybe we'll do shout outs now.
Yeah. This took way
Alright,
too long
shout
to
out to
decide.
God.
Yeah,
All
shout
right,
out
cool.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And stay
Alright.
fresh.
And stay fresh.